at Ball Arena, and the number one seeds in the West have held serve, winning the first two games at home over the previously favored Phoenix Suns. Game 2 goes to Denver by 10. Nikola Jokic, again, the stud. 39 points, 16 rebounds, 5 assists. Devin Booker led the way with 35 points for Phoenix. But the Suns go back to the Valley of the Sun, down 0-2 in this Western Conference semifinal series. And for more on Game 2 from Denver, we welcome in CBS Sports NBA insider Bill Reiter. Bill, what is it about the Nuggets that maybe the odds makers missed before this series started, before the playoffs began at all? What have we seen from Denver that proves why they're the number one seed here?
Russ, I think there's a few things. You mentioned Jokic. I'm not sure there's ever been a two-time MVP who's been less, maybe not disrespect, maybe less respected, but just not celebrated the way that he should be. It's a deeper Denver team than people realize. There's so many guys that can send at you in waves. And Jamal Murray, who actually had a pretty poor performance in this game, is still capable, we saw this in Game 1, of being outstanding offensively. And I think maybe the main thing, Russ, is in a wide-open Western Conference picture with a bunch of new teams with new faces who are in the mix. This Denver team has been through the battles together. They've had some heartbreak and normally some failure in the playoffs as a team. If you've got the talent and the other ingredients, can lead to success down the line.
All right, so on the other side of the ball, you got the Phoenix Suns, who were the favorites in this series, and even to get out of the West before the playoffs began. What's going on with Phoenix, and who needs to step up if they want to turn this series around once they get back home?
Yeah, it's sort of a basketball paradox because it's two rules in the postseason, two sort of laws of the physics of the NBA postseason that are up against each other. One rule is the most talented team. If you have overwhelming, transcendent, great talent, you're supposed to win these things, Russ. And with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, Chris Paul before that injury, DeAndre Ayton, they are the most talented, I think, team in the NBA, just in terms of pure stars. But the other rule is that no matter what you have or who you have, you need time to gel. And obviously Kevin Durant came in at the trade deadline, missed a lot of time because of injury. So that lack of continuity, that inability for these guys to just have some experiences, be in some battles together, the exact opposite of Denver, it's a significant factor. The person that needs to step up is Kevin Durant. I know in the box score he had some points, but he wasn't efficient. He took a lot of shots to get to the points that he got. He's got to be able to do what Jokic did in this game, impose his will, take over key moments, key stretches, and make life easier for his teammates so they're getting the easy buckets while Durant is carrying the team through those difficult moments you're going to face in any playoff run, especially against a team as good as the Denver Nuggets.
Look, Chris Paul's been around for a long time and been playing at an incredibly high level for a remarkably long time. But his body's breaking down. Again, we've seen it. The groin injury took him out. Hadn't even finished the third quarter of Game 2. How important is it for Phoenix to have Paul on the floor? And how much are they going to miss him if he can't play in Game 3?
Yeah, it's significant. They've got that talent that we talked about. There's not a lot of depth there. They need his leadership. And really, they need his experience. And you're right. This is a guy who's had a storied career, at least for my money, in the regular season. He might be the best point guard for me, Russ, going back to Isaiah Thomas and those Pistons teams. I would make that argument almost any day of the week. But we know the best ability is availability. We know that Father Time is undefeated, and at least right now with Chris Paul's last few postseasons, and we don't know the extent of this injury, but what we saw, and you said, the fact he couldn't finish Game 2, it looks like time is catching up to him. And if it has in this series, there's a good chance time's going to catch up to the Suns this season as well.
All right, look, there's cliches about must-wins, and they're just that. They're cliches. But Game 3 in Phoenix, I mean, how close to a must-win is this for the Suns?
It's funny because I've definitely written some things over the years where I get the old text, or sometimes if they're angry enough, Russ, the phone call from a GM or an executive saying, blah, blah, how dare you, words we can't say on CBS Sports HQ. It's not a must-win game for us. We aren't eliminated if we lose. But teams don't come back from being down 3-0. That's just not a thing that has happened. That happens. It's really significant. It's really important. It's an amazing amount of pressure. Now I'll say this. We've certainly seen teams come back down 2-0, especially when they've lost the first couple games on the road, including the Warriors against the Kings just, a week ago when that series began. So this series isn't over, but yes, there is massive, overwhelming pressure on this Phoenix Suns team to go back to Phoenix, whatever Chris Paul's health status is, and find a way to beat this Denver team if they want almost certainly their championship hopes to remain alive.
It'll be quite the scene in Phoenix for Game 3. That's Bill Reiter, our CBS Sports NBA insider. Bill, thank you so very much. Nikola Jokic, once again, doing his thing when it matters most for the Nuggets. 39 points in the team's 10-point win over the Suns. He now has more 30-point playoff games than any other player, passing the great Alex English in Nuggets history.